Go. Hit Harry Mack, quick.
1, 2, 1, 2. Coming off the top, y'all know how we do. Listen, I'ma drop a freestyle you can cherish. I'ma send a shout out to the host named Eric. Yo, he's never on some average shit. You know Eric, he stays loud and passionate. I'm about to break it down for y'all with the clever song. Yo, shout the host named Thomas, cause he's never wrong. Yo, shout to John, you know that he's smart and quiet, unlike my freestyles, which cause a riot. I'm about to do it like this, cause the people love me. Shouts out to PHP the Ugly. It's called ugly cause it's not professional, but I'm about to come through and bless it with style. So let's do it when I'm spitting, I perfume the room. Yo, the segment of the show is called Doom and Gloom. That came from Thomas. Yeah, can nobody go beyond this? I get the mic and then I'm about to keep it like a promise. Yeah, and y'all know we fill them up with anguish. We talking about the PHP, the programming language. About to break it down, no exaggeration. What do y'all do for a living? Web applications. Okay, I can dig it. My words spray tight. They getting together on the Thursday nights. Yeah, when it comes to rhyming, you can call me the new dude. I spew true lyrics while y'all broadcast on YouTube. So let's get it. You know my lyrics are major. All up in the comments, they got plenty of haters, but they doing what they doing. Keep it ugly. We ending every show with the saying it's lovely. Let's go. Hey, shout out to y'all. Peace to the whole squad, man. Hope your channel is doing real well on YouTube. Hope you guys are having fun. And it was an honor and blessing to do this little custom freestyle for y'all. Hope you enjoy. Stay up. Yeah. Come on. Hey.
Go.
What's up? We good?
Yep, we're live. Go.
Well, just give me a second.
Go.
Chill
Go
out.
now. Go now.
I'm in charge. All right. I got to get Zencaster going. You're listening to episode 295 of PHPUgly, filmed in front of a live audience. We are a weekly podcast talking about PHP and PHP adjacent stuff. I am your host, Eric Van Johnson, and with me is John Congdon.
I thought we were doing this thing. Boom, boom, boom,
and
boom.
Tom Right Up.
Hello.
Hello. I don't think they've actually recognized the fact that they're on the stream.
Oh, I see it.
Yeah. So we have a studio audience with us tonight, gentlemen. So mind your manners.
Live from San Francisco.
No shit talking.
Live from his office. What are you talking about? You can hear him in the background.
This is my office. So I got a little.
Must be nice to have an office.
It must be nice to have an office so big you can have a live audience. That's crazy.
All right, gentlemen. Let's get this over quickly because I got reasons. I need to put a lock on this door next week.
Something
for sure.
Something going on?
Nothing going on, man. What have you been up to?
Well, I've been learning PHP enums. Just really digging through the documentation there, and don't have a job, so that's a thing.
What?
And
did you say you have a job or you don't have a job?
Oh no, I don't have a job.
That's weird. I felt like you had a job last week.
No, I did last week. Yeah,
last week you did.
Yeah,
but I'm lost now. Did you forget where you worked?
No. Just
he misplaced it.
Just dropped it somewhere, and large economic downturn. We had a Series B that was committed to us, and they are no longer. I call it the Elon Musk move.
Oh, you found a way to blame this on Elon. That's nice.
Well, yeah.
That's always my biggest concern going to a startup. It's always,
well, sure,
rainbows and whatever, and it never seems to pan out.
Well, I don't know about never. I actually can still invest in the company. Probably won't this year.
No, you have to now because that's insider trading. If you don't,
I have my stocks. They gave me an extra term to like purchase them if I want to. But no, it's
so they gave you things that you could buy from them. That's very kind of them. Like here's the stuff. If you want it, you can buy it from us.
I mean, it's no PHP elephant, sure, but no, I'm not.
I don't think we made you buy those.
I'm not
Just saying.
Well, you don't always pay just with money.
But now that they're in your possession, you do have to give us $50.
Yeah, they have been attacking my cats, which is weird.
Well, Tom, I'm for one sorry to hear of your joblessness. I don't suppose it's going to be for very long, but I have to applaud our Discord and their response for when you posted, "Hey, is anybody looking for a PHP developer?"
Yes, because several people were concerned that they had lost theirs.
I'm like, that was so classic. Only in the ugly Discord will people respond that way.
Which, if you want to hang out with us and Eric's kids and Eric's wife and my mother-in-law, go to discord.phpugly.com. Join the fun.
If you don't want to do any of that, we don't blame you. Yeah, so I'm back in the market. The severance was surprisingly short.
I was surprised on that as well.
Yeah. I basically have up to the end of the month.
The end of the month? Like a week or what? Yeah, like a week.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Not. We have a term we like to use called not industry standard.
Okay. So that goes both ways. Is that what you're telling me?
Yeah.
Gotcha. No problem.
But I got on LinkedIn, and for some reason, when you say 20 plus years of PHP on LinkedIn, they ask you how good you are at Vue. And
are you interested in learning Rust?
I have to explain. I did have one person say, "Okay, so but how about Go? Like, we understand that you have a record-setting number of years with PHP. Are you interested in the language Go?" And I said, "No, I'm not. Although COBOL does spark an interest."
That's great.
So I spent one day what we'll call wallowing, and then I went on LinkedIn the next day, and now I can't get my inbox to shut up.
Oh, you got me beat by a long shot. I would have wallowed for weeks.
Well, once again, severance package doesn't cover weeks of wallowing.
That's true. Hey, we have a title suggestion in Discord. Hang on. If you're in our Discord channel and you want to suggest a title for this episode, bang title space, give us a title, and maybe we'll use yours. Oh, you got to do that in Discord if I didn't say that already.
You did.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's an annoying situation. It's a situation that you sort of go into with a startup. I believe when I started with this company, the three of us talked about startup culture, the nature of startup companies. You don't know when it's going to end, and it could just end suddenly. So it did, and now I'm getting berated by people who don't understand the difference between PHP and full stack. But
sorry to hear that, man.
Well, that's today. That was today's emails. Tomorrow, I'm actually looking at director CTO positions, because the reason that someone who has 20 years of experience in PHP is uncommon is because Usually they do better professionally than I do, as far as becoming in charge of something instead of enjoying programming. So I'm looking at the getting in charge of things thing.
Well, good luck with that.
Thank you.
What?
How's your paragliding been?
Good. Why do you ask? I was doing it just before the show.
I heard you almost killed yourself. That's good.
Huh? What do you mean I almost killed myself?
What did I miss?
Well, yeah, what did I miss?
Well, you had a Facebook post about being dragged off a cliff.
Oh,
We talked about that last week.
Yeah.
Isn't that what we talked about last week?
Is it?
Yeah, we did.
You'll have to excuse me. I'm unemployed.
You can't keep track of days anymore.
Nah.
It's only been a couple of days, but it sets in really quick.
Well, okay. So, but I have been fucking with the kids a little bit, like having them drive me to Dollar General, and like I've got the cardboard box from the elephant, and I drew on it, anything helps, God bless, and just sort of left it randomly in the house.
Okay, I think that will become our thumbnail if you have that laying around. We'll just make that the thumbnail right now. Well, I'm making that call.
I think it's the God bless part that my kids wouldn't believe.
The fact that you're begging for money seems completely reasonable.
On brand, for sure, on brand.
I told you guys the story. This was a while ago, but we still talk about it in the house to this day. But like, I had this really ratty sweater that I used to wear, and it was like just tore up. And I let my kind of like now where I've let my facial hair grow out and let my hair grow out, so it's like all wildy and crap. That's why I've been wearing hats on the show a lot, because my hair is like all crazy. And I went to Starbucks to buy a coffee, and the person in line in front of me bought me a coffee. And I'm like, that's cool, thank you. And I was like all appreciative, and I walked out, and I'm driving home like, that person thought I was homeless, didn't they? I'm like, I'm pretty sure that person thought I was homeless.
Not that they're trying to get you to pay it forward yourself, because you probably didn't.
Yeah, no, it was definitely like he turned around, looked at me up and down, and went like, let me buy his coffee too. I'm like, oh, what? Oh, hey man, thanks.
Yeah, mine has whiskey in it.
Yeah. If I give you a candy, can I get a sandwich?
You're supposed to yell at the top of your lungs at nobody next to you.
Well, I mean, but that's the thing though, is that I've looked at people in the line behind me and known that they have teenagers and treated them exactly the same way. Like, that guy just needs a break, just like a $5 break.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Speaking of which, our live studio audience,
they're being chattery. Like the one thing that they had was to be quiet, and I've just been hearing like rattling over there and giggling and chirping.
Yeah,
Sour Patch Kids being passed around.
Yep.
Yeah, there's two kinds of sleepovers. There's the sleepover where you don't know you're gay yet, and there's a sleepover where you know you're gay.
And that's called an orgy, Tom.
I wasn't gonna go there.
All right. I think I'm pretty sure I know what you guys actually did this week. We've had a lot of talking. We had a lot of discussion, but I mean, come on. It's no.
What do you
no
mean
secret.
Actually did? I'm actually unemployed. I am.
Come on, Tom.
This isn't a topic for the show.
Tom, you don't need to try to play coy with me. I know.
Please, I need
the baseball All-Star game was on this weekend.
If anybody can hear me, I need a job.
I'm sure you all watched the All-Star game.
There was an All-Star game? Nope. Although I probably should have. My kid would love it.
I think your kid might actually respect you a little if you did something. What? Am I on mute? Hello?
I took my kids to a baseball game and invited you to it, up right and by you, right by your house.
You did, I know.
Actually, how far away is Lake Elsinore from you? It can't be
Like
far.
20 minutes. I don't even have to get on the freeway. I just go straight down the main drag here to it.
He was literally just there and just decided not to be there anymore.
I literally drove by it today to go to Costco to get gas. I mean, I pass it all the time. I've gone to a couple games. Yeah.
The funny thing, I was sitting there at the game, and he texted me. He's like, "Where are you sitting at? I'm looking for you." I'm like, "You're here?" Like looking all around. He's like, "No, I'm watching you online."
I'm watching the stream, man. Yeah. I mean, there's only like a dozen people there, so I figured I'd be able to call them out. But
right, you never did find me on there.
I don't know. Like it's single A ball, so like the quality isn't that good when they pan to the to the fans. So I don't know if I saw you. Like I thought I saw you like 4 or 5 times, but I could never be sure.
If you saw my kids, they were not paying attention to the game. They were trading Pokemon cards.
There you go.
Yeah. John's the one with the giant kite and the shirt that says "I love paragliding."
What did you think of the stadium? Like, what did you think of that experience? I love minor league baseball, so I was just curious what you thought.
I really enjoyed it. It's way more manageable than Petco Park.
Right.
Like, getting in, getting around, finding a drink, like it was great. Like I would enjoy going to that if it weren't an hour drive for me.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. That was my fondest memories from my childhood wasn't going to Baltimore Oriole games, which I mean I went through to a few, and
you don't say.
I remember that, but
they're so well known for being a thrilling team.
They were back in the day, buddy. Watch your mouth. But my dad taking me to a minor league baseball game, which back then was played at a high school baseball field, that they had like these bleachers set up, these big bleachers, and I loved it. And much like now, minor league teams, even the low divisions, the Class A, which is what the Storm were, even they have dedicated stadiums now, which is mind-boggling to me, but whatever. But yeah, I mean,
I liked it because I could get a beer, I could sit. I go to the professional ultimate team, and they're played at a high school stadium, and you can't, like, they don't really have anything there for you can't buy a drink. You're just there, right?
Yeah.
It's nice. It's a high school stadium, so you got the metal bleachers. Going to that baseball game, completely different story. It really was a good experience. And I was 2 rows in, so we're sitting right there by the dugout. We could see the players wave.
And there's not a bad seat either. Yeah, there's not a bad seat. And your kid, I mean, your one kid's a little older. Actually, I mean, your kids are kind of there.
My youngest one is turning 6, and he's way into baseball.
Well, my point being is they're kind of to that age where you could feel comfortable with them wandering around that stadium and you not trailing them, because you could watch them wherever they went. Like you could see them.
Yeah.
Oh wow, man, that was like the most baseball we've ever talked. I'm jazzed.
It was good. It was good. My kid turned 6 on Saturday and is having a baseball themed birthday party on Sunday.
Oh. Sure, my invite got lost. Whatever, it's fine.
I asked him, and he said no.
Yeah, no, it was at the stadium. You just didn't go.
Oh my god! Do we have any PHP to talk about? Anything?
Oh my god! Sure. Are you kidding me?
Sure, I have a ton of things to talk about, so I don't want to hog the show. I've been trying to be better at that, so I'll let you guys go.
Go ahead, Tom.
I don't think Tom has one.
We got into the last 6 days before we locked down 8.2, and all the PRs came through.
PRs?
RFCs.
Okay.
You happy?
Yes.
All the RFCs came through. namely the short tag version 2 got flat out rejected. So the short closures, the short tags, whatever you want to call it, probably short closures because that's actually the correct term. It got rejected. They're dedicated to coming back and doing a version 3 for the next release, but it got dropped. But we got a bunch of RFCs that did come through. A lot of stuff for that thing they're called those things.
I'm trying to figure out which. Are you talking about? You said short. Was it short closures 2.0?
Short closures 2.0. The RFC is auto capture closures, but the name of the RFC is short closures 2.0.
Well, does it need 2/3 because it got 27 to 16?
Does need 2/3. Yeah, it was 1 point away from approval.
Gotcha.
But enums got a lot of work in this PR. Specifically, properties of enums in constant expressions and disjunctive normal form types, which I guess aren't enum related. Like I said, I've been trying to read about the enum stuff. The PHP documentation for enums is really unsatisfactory. The real good source is Stitcher.io, and we'll have a link to that in the blog, the description,
show notes,
whatever. I mean, theoretically, there's a blog.
Nope. Not really.
All right, no, there isn't. So I've been trying to really understand enums, and one of the issues was enum fetching properties of enum and constants. So enums can have properties and methods, but in a constant, you can't reference the property or method of an enum. So it was kind of restrictive. A lot of the conversation around this was that this was just an oversight of the enum implementation, where you wanted to fetch the name of an enum or the color of an enum, but constants couldn't access that stuff. That got accepted. The one that's
still trying to find what's the use case here. I'm still not, because they're using just letters, class A, const C. Like, what's the driving force here?
Driving force here is that if you are building a model class that is intended to serialize, you're not getting a serialized version of the enum in your constants. You're just getting an instance of the constant class. Where in a model or in something that is intended to be serialized, you want your constants right away to be able to say, what is the value? What is the serializable value of this constant? Instead of just the whole class. So it's this. If you're used to eloquent models, this makes sense. Eloquent models have constants as enums, status underscore good, status underscore bad, status underscore draft. They will just be 0, 1, 2, 3. But when you're using the modern implementation of enums, you can't initialize a model with those values. You have to have a secondary method. You have to have a method that looks at the constant as it's defined and then pull the value from it. This is not a powerful component of PHP. This is just a helper component of PHP. This just makes sure that if you're defining value objects, your value objects are only value objects and not value objects that have an instance of an enum class in them for no reason whatsoever. Does that make sense?
Yep. I think so.
So this is sort of unusual for PHP. Constants aren't allowed to have a lot of behaviors. You're not allowed to do math in constants or instantiated object references or even static object references. But apparently the implementation on this was simple enough to say, hey, enums are useful, but they're missing a fundamental component, which is that constants in their current usage represent enums, and that migration from PHP 8 to PHP 8.1 would be really helped by this. So this is, I don't see a problem with this. I don't see a big issue with this. It'll just be helpful. The next thing,
but that one barely passed as well.
Well, everything barely passes
at 68%.
So one that didn't barely pass, 25-1, is disjunctive normal form types. And it is a simple concept with a stupid name. But it basically means that you can now use comparative operators in object inheritance definitions. So you can say if this thing is an instance of A or B or A and C.
So again, what's the use case for that? I mean, it obviously
bad programming, mostly bad programming.
This is one almost everybody agreed on, right?
So right now, when you do a return type declaration, you can only say this is an int or this is a object of type something. Now we can say this is a int or a string, or you can say it is this and this, so it has to be a type of an interface. So maybe it's a type of an interface and a concrete implementation, which makes no sense. Why would it not be the concrete implementation? So the and is throwing me in here.
There aren't a lot of...
It comes down to a parameter contra variance as well, which is where that's where I'm really getting lost. It's like I don't understand what this is, what the use case for this is.
So the easiest use case for any of this stuff is an image of type JPEG or PNG or GIF.
Gotcha.
But not bitmap.
Gotcha.
Or null. Or if it's an image of type URL. So like, yeah, you can, like I said, this is bad code helper.
No, I don't think so. I mean, now that you put it like that, I mean that makes some sense, right? It's just another layer validation.
Except that JPEG should extend image, so you should be able to just check on is type of image, and then like you said, you can make image a value object as well, and just pass that, but handle all that validation in there. I don't know. And I'm not comp sci. I can't tell you why some of these things make sense. I can tell you when you start getting into if this is a sorting algorithm, but it's not a member of the B tree sorting algorithm, but it is a member of the quantum whatever sorting algorithm. Like, yeah, you can be really, it allows you to be really, really particular without using the term instance of, which is, it does have a a weight to it in theory. So it will speed up certain behaviors that you probably shouldn't be doing in the first place, or you should probably be doing because you are a CS major and you're working in what should be Perl but isn't. I mean, this is one of those catch-ups to other languages where they're like, oh, well, other languages let you do this, and the implementation is lightweight enough that they're like, well, we don't want to be worse than other languages.
I definitely get the ors, the this and this or that makes it tricky, but I'm sure I could find uses of it.
Well, and I'm sure that the actual the low level tokenized implementation is very lightweight and worked great. So why would you object to it?
Because it's going to lead a really ugly code to read.
Yeah, because PHP is still a web language. We're just not supposed to do that. I don't know. I'll fight people.
Nah, I'm excited about it.
Finally, thanks to our sponsor.
When you're in production, 1,000 things can go wrong. You could deploy a bug in your latest release. Your background jobs can silently fail. Someone could trip over the network cable at your data center, and this all comes back to you. You need to know when bad things happen and be able to respond to them quickly. That's why we built Honeybadger. It's easy to install Honeybadger in your back-end applications and front-end JavaScript. It only takes a few minutes of configuration and you'll have monitoring done. That's because we hook into popular web frameworks, job systems, and the browser, so that when any of them crash, we can automatically let you know. We ping your application from our global fleet of servers to let you know about problems with connectivity, latency, and SSL certificates, and we monitor your recurring jobs to see if any of them stop recurring. When there's a problem, we alert your team using the tools you already use. We can create issues in GitHub, Jira, and other issue trackers, and send notifications via Slack, PagerDuty, or other channels. When you click through, you'll be taken to detailed information on the error. You'll see things like request parameters, headers, user information, and the backtrace. Click on any line of the backtrace to view it in GitHub, Bitbucket, or your local editor. When you fix a problem, just mark it resolved and follow up with the affected user. That's Honeybadger. We're the monitoring tool for web developers who'd rather be, well, developing.
Thank you,
Honeybadger.
Honeybadger.
Unprompted, that was awesome.
That was pretty good. Well, audience participation. You gotta like that.
You gotta like that.
All right,
Eric, I want to get back to event sourcing. How's your project coming along?
Don't help.
Whoa, I
John.
wasn't done.
Yeah, you were. You jumped right into Honeybadger, so you were done.
Constants in traits.
Oh, I guess you're done. Eric, I wanted you to talk. Constants and traits, go for it. What?
The best part of this proposal is why weren't constants in traits in the first place? And it seems like no one knows why. It was just a slight oversight. There's references to links where somebody mentioned constants when traits were being defined in the first place, but whoops, we missed them. Was like the whole answer. It's one of the best parts of any RFC I've seen.
And still barely passed.
Still barely passed. Well, no, it passed with 2/3. Like a hard.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, that's still barely.
I was gonna say that's still barely. 28 divided by 40, 70%. It's above 66. Barely.
You okay, Tom?
I'm trying to get my kitties on camera.
They're on camera. We can see them.
We can see him.
That's
I was wondering why everybody was yelling cats in the Discord. I'm like, what? I'm looking around.
There was one wandering around your kids earlier.
It's just the one. My cats are
That's
camera
fine.
shy. How is event sourcing going?
Well, Tom, thank you for asking. John apparently doesn't care.
Doesn't give a shit.
Whatever.
Not at all. Can we move on, please?
It's going all right. I actually spent the week writing tests, writing some crud, doing some cleanup. We were bringing on a developer, start working on some front end stuff. So I wanted to make sure I had some endpoints cleaned up and stuff like that. So I didn't spend a ton of time on event sourcing this week, but fortunately for me, I did finally I finally found a good resource for event sourcing. I don't know if you guys are even aware of this. This is kind of fun. So the repo is called FOSS, so free open source software, FOSS Coloring Books. And there is a coloring book on the most recent coloring book they came out with was for event sourcing. So yeah, my life is doing really well right now.
I started looking at that, but I got one panel in and kind of gave up on it.
It's actually event-driven architecture, and it's called EDA and the Three Dwarves. And yeah, I didn't actually read it either. I just thought it was funny that they're fuzz, and that's not the first one. There's a few of them out there. There's Ansible. There's SEL Linux, which is
it's funny because Ansible's not FOSS.
It's not. Are you sure?
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm thinking of Ansible Tower.
Yeah.
The rest, all the new work on Ansible is not FOSS.
Right. So I'll throw that in our show notes. I just thought that was kind of funny to kind of come across, is that there are all these coloring books out there now. So yeah, I thought that was fun.
I expect to see your completed work next week on the show.
My coloring book?
And you better stay in the lines this time, damn it.
No, I don't. I'm an outside the line type of guy, John. But yeah, it's going well. Client seems kind of happy with what we're doing. It's cool because this is kind of like the driving project to make some upgrades to some legacy code base as well. This is an API driven application. So the part I'm working on is the back end, the APIs, and then there's this more of a larger application, a monolith really of an application that handles all the front ends. Now historically
the authentication is through there.
Right. All the front end was the app. I mean, this monolith was the entire application, and a new architecture we've been rolling out is this API driven sort of solution where we're putting the front end in the monolith, and then we're creating these APIs. You might ask yourself, why do that? What's the benefit of that? I'm glad you asked, Tom. That's a very reasonable question to ask. Because this monolith has gotten so big, it's becoming more and more difficult to change little components within the monolith without the concern of breaking other components or bringing down the entire application. So with this API-driven architecture and having all the APIs be their own small little applications off there running, we're able to iterate at different rates. Like we can keep the Laravel install for the APIs way more current than for the monolith, because there's a lot more regression testing that needs to go on whenever you upgrade anything in the monolith. So this approach is nice, right? We've done it already for an application, and now this event sourcing app is going to be the second kind of API endpoint. But
there are definitely pros and cons to it.
Yeah, absolutely. There always are. But within the monolith, we're taking this opportunity to start to introduce, say it with me, the tall stack. Yep, that's right. Laravel was already there. Laravel was already there, but now we're getting Tailwind, which we're looking to use, and then the cream the cream of la ca. I don't know how to say that word. Livewire. Yep, Livewire. My first Livewire components are being implemented in this monolith. So it's looking good.
I'd love to get into Livewire.
Here you get free time now, maybe.
It's not free.
Yeah. What's really cool is I'm actually not doing that part. I just architected it.
He's so excited that it's there. He's like, but I'm not going to do it.
Yeah. Well, it's not by choice. There are a lot of moving components here, but I'm really excited because the person who is doing it is starting to embrace it more, and they're seeing the benefits and they're enjoying it. So it's
Kalen.
It's always exciting. No, it's not Kalen. You don't know the person.
It's always Kalen.
So yeah, it's cool, man. But yeah, now I have to admit, when I heard that you have joined the unemployed for a little while, which is fine. I mean, I'm not holding you personally responsible for it. So. It's
not like we had 8 episodes about you living under a bridge.
That's very true. Very true. I am going to miss your weekly complaining about the Laravel release cycle, because this week I actually had feedback, like the latest release of Laravel. I'm like, holy crap, there's some really cool things in here, and I bet you Tom doesn't even care.
Yeah, I didn't look. Didn't even bother looking.
Don't care at all. That's lovely. Lovely. Do we want to talk about them? Do you care now? Do you want to hear about it?
I mean, you can throw a link. You can throw a link at me, and I can tell you how you're wrong. You don't seem to have any links here, though.
Yeah, we'll talk about that after the show. I'll find a better link, but there, I'll throw one at you here, Tom. I'll throw one at you in the Slack channel. Just give me uno momento, por favor.
Hey, man, you're the editor. Take all your time.
Yeah. I'll see if I can. That's another thing for our regular listeners. I have to apologize because something in our workflow is acting a little janky. And it's been clipping.
It's targeting me specifically.
It totally is. It's been clipping the hell out of Tom, and I really don't have a good explanation to why.
Oh, I do.
But I'm going to try a new service. Not a new service. A service that we had used previously, but I'm going to revisit that service and try to use it again. So I do appreciate everybody letting me know when the shows are clipping, and hopefully we'll get it resolved here this week. I do hear it. I do go back and listen to the show after I release it, and
you're like, it's just Tom. It doesn't matter.
Pretty much. It's like he doesn't really ever say anything important. So, all right. So this release of Laravel did that thing that Tom loves so much and added some new features. And I've got to say, not even mad.
Adding features isn't a problem.
Okay.
Adding features, I don't think that's ever been a complaint, right? It's always when they break backwards things.
Yeah. I don't think they've ever broken backwards thing, but Tom.
Well, no, I have a PR that says different.
Anyways, Nuno, who works for Laravel, but he also has, before he went to work for Laravel, I think he released a package for making really pretty command line responses using like artisan commands, and he must have had like a ton of input on this release, because there is a lot of revamping of artisan commands and some new artisan commands that I didn't realize I wanted this command so much. But so first off,
that's funny. I use a tool that actually parses artisan commands that no longer works because of a minor change.
What tool is that?
Artisan CLI for web.
Oh, wait a minute. So not an official package for Laravel, just something somebody created and didn't bother keeping up to date. Is that what you're about to complain about?
They had just
it sounds like that's what you're about to complain about.
They had just assumed that minor version changes wouldn't break everything.
Anyways, so now the artisan command has a much prettier output. First off, just across the board, there's a lot of things, and when after I upgraded, I ran it. I'm like, hey, that kind of looks different. That doesn't look the same. So there's a couple of new things. There's a couple of new commands, and hear me out on this because it doesn't sound like it's a big deal, but kind of is. I'm trying to remember all the details about it because I ran them this morning, and then of course I haven't run them since. One of them is artisan model show. And this gives you an output of everything about that model, including what it looks like in the database. So it gives you all the columns and what sort of columns they are, whether strings and knits or anything like that, whether that column is being casted, whether it's a cast. It's a very handy kind of just dashboard, right, of all your stuff. And that was actually one of the things I was thinking about is like this one and another one we'll talk about here in a second. I can almost see running these things every night and feeding them into like some sort of document dashboard for the developers. And one of the things that allows you to do that, so hear me out on this. These new commands, of course, they have your normal command line output, right? So you can read them there just fine. But they also have JSON switches you can throw to them, and they'll dump their data into JSON. And we've talked a lot about document stores, and that's actually where I store a lot of like the show information and things like that. I have an CouchDB document store. This would feed into that perfectly, where I could actually run these commands against all my models and get all the information about the application, make these JSON documents, and then pump it into a document store like CouchDB, and then start feeding that up as a dashboard for developers. I mean, that's just a win-win across the board for me.
Absolutely. I don't disagree at all.
But
stop messing with me, Tom.
But
people have already developed these kinds of tools for themselves based off of the expected results of Artisan. And when I get something in Laravel 9.21 that says nearly all the built-in Artisan commands have been reimagined to deliver a better experience, I think to myself, oh, so you've completely fucked everyone who expected results in one format, and you've done it in a minor release.
Okay, so the other thing I was going to say about this is that no, he doesn't, John. No, he doesn't. The other thing I was going to say about this is that model show. So this is one of my kind of a gripe. Have you ever used where you wanted to like change an existing column in a migration? So you've had to write another migration, but you wanted to change like the column length or something like that.
Oh,
yes.
Well, John, you don't.
Yes.
Honestly, John, you don't
think
use
either of
Laravel.
us has.
Okay, I have several times. And
sounds like bad foresight.
Yeah, you're gonna let me finish my statement at some point in the show.
Yeah, what are you gonna do? Fire me?
So, if you've ever done that, or if you've ever, there's a lot of things if you try to do with the database, or if you try to use this new model show, it requires the Doctrine DBAL package. So you have to install this additional package, which is a very common package in PHP applications, just in general.
I thought that was required dev for Laravel.
No, I guess it's not. I guess not. And that was going to be my gripe, right? It's like, if there are going to be so many things dependent on this package, why don't you just include it? Like, why doesn't this become part of the standard, deployment of Laravel? Why is it always got to be this add-on? Like,
yeah, and I'm glad that you agree with me on this. Is that new includes do not belong in minor releases? That's what you were saying, right?
I'm going to give you that. Sure. New dependencies.
New dependencies in minor releases, probably, definitely.
But see, we're back to the whole enum thing, right? It's not a new dependency if you just choose not to use that feature. So there's that whole thing going on there.
I mean, sure, there was that original false equivalency that you made.
Then there's artisan about. So we've had all these artisan commands. There's artisan about. This one's pretty cool because it gives you an outline of everything about your application, the PHP version you're running, I think the Laravel version you're running, just a bunch of information. Yeah, I don't know. I like both of them.
So as far as I can tell with the artisan about, it just reads your config files.
No, I don't think so.
I think it does. Because it's broken down by the name of the config file and then the setting on.
So that is actually something interesting because this is the one that you as a package maintainer, you actually have the ability to add your own information to that about command. So when that about command is ran, it can actually, it'll display information that you tell it to display. And I'm like, wow, this is really opening up kind of possibility of abuse, right? Like people can just start dumping in all their Patreon links and stuff like that.
Speaking of which, what is our Patreon link?
Do we have one of those? Oh yeah, we do. Thank you, our Patreon supporters. That would be patreon.com/PHPUgly, by the way. We do appreciate you.
So out of curiosity, I know we've had discussions about this recently. I'm going to change subjects real quick. We have somebody commenting on YouTube. Did you turn on something that automatically deletes comments?
Me? No.
Yeah. Oh.
Why you only have 8? Take care, gentlemen.
They're saying that we're. By the way, Great Farmer Freelance. Hi.
Wait,
why are we deleting comments?
Don't bother. Gentleman Terrible is an excellent translation of PHPUgly.
Yeah, we're not deleting comments.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know.
I just knew there was conversation about turning something off.
But I believe that this is a Google Translate version of we only have 8 viewers. Gentleman Terrible, would you like some SEO help?
Oh, yeah, I don't know. Okay. I tried turning chat off for YouTube just because anybody who is a regular listener, they're in our Discord, and I really have kind of gotten picky with our people in Discord taking kind of priority in our live show conversations, and don't really see a whole lot of benefit of having something like YouTube chat going. But I couldn't figure out how to turn it off, so I just didn't even worry about it.
Hold on, I'm creating a Truth Social account for us right now.
Okay. I had an interesting thing I tried to do this week. I figured it out, but it took me longer than I'm not proud to admit. So there is a eloquent command you can use in Laravel where you run a query and you simply say exists. And the use case I had for this was that, again, that API driven application that I'm running, I wanted the developer who was doing the front end to check to see if the client was already using a name for what they're working on. And I wanted them to be able to do it without having to submit an entire form and go through the normal validation. So I just made this little endpoint where it says, okay, give me the name, give me the client ID, and I will look up in the table and see if that record exists. So typically the way I would have done this in the past was I would do a first, and then I would see if that existed, and if it existed, then I would know, yes, it exists, and it's not unique. And if it didn't exist, I would say it doesn't exist. Well, I came across the command this week that called exist. Well, just does that. It if you pass it exists instead of first or get or something like that, it will simply return a true or false, and it says, hey, this record you're looking for is here, or this record you're looking for isn't here, right? So here's the caveat to that. If they were looking for the record, the name, and it was there, I actually wanted it to return the inverse. I wanted it to return, because what it was returning is unique, was the JSON it was returning. I wanted it to return false. But of course, that was being set to true because it existed. So I needed to figure out a way to inverse whatever that ended up being. And it was a very simple solution, but it was like one of these wacky little things. It was like, hey, wait a minute, this should be easier than I'm making it out to be, and it ended up taking me way more time than, like I said, I'm happy to admit. But once I figured it out, it was simple. I just used a coalescent operator, right, and just said, hey, is this true? If it's true, then mark it as false, and if it's not true, then mark it as true.
Good job.
I was proud of myself.
So if you're wondering, we are truthsocial.com at PHPUgly.
Stop it.
What
I would not have done that.
What are you talking about? What is Truth Social?
That's Trump's stupid thing. What is wrong with you? Get a job.
I'm trying, man.
Find a hobby, man. What is wrong with you?
I haven't even told you the worst part.
It doesn't get much worse than that.
Do you know what I did a month and a half ago? I convinced my friend, my best friend here in Colorado Springs, to quit his long-standing job and start working for us. Yeah.
I forgot about that.
He worked.
Don't tell me he got laid off.
He worked for a month and a half. So if you're looking for a QA engineer or SDET level 2 engineer,
ouch,
that hurts.
Whoopsie.
I had forgotten all about that.
Yeah, we had dinner tonight. I think he shit my taco.
Oh man, I'm sorry, Tom. I'm sorry. I mean, you losing a job is kind of funny to me, but like,
no,
I can feel where you're at on that.
It's funny to everyone.
Yeah,
him.
That sucks.
Except him.
No.
He's kind of upset about it.
I can't imagine why. But yeah.
Although we did get the same severance package.
You've been there for how many years?
A year. Well, since
a year.
Have you been since starting?
Oh, it was a year and a half. Okay,
yeah.
I was say, had you even been there a year?
Since they launched.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, I've been drinking.
Yeah, you have. So maybe John and I should keep talking then. You just buckle up. So yeah, I've been doing a lot of work with APIs. I've forgotten I have forgotten how much I enjoy working with Postman. Postman is such a well thought out and awesome little application.
That feels like giving my kids first car like a Volkswagen Beetle, and they're like, I forgot how much I love driving.
I love my. We had a little Volkswagen Bug.
Postman is a shit show. I cannot.
It's not.
My God, what are you talking about? Postman, if you want to sponsor us, you just let me know. I got your back on this one.
Here's
I
the
love
thing.
Postman.
Postman.
What do you use?
I have to use Postman.
You don't? There's like a dozen different apps out there.
Use PHP Storm.
Postman has done a very good job of tiering their systems to the point where you're like, hey, I'm super annoyed with this. And they're like, well, it's only $5,000 per user now. Like, if you just change your plan.
Huh?
The basic plan for users means like everything you do is shared and anyone can just view your collections and fuck them up all they want.
I don't think so. You're saying the free plan like that?
No, I'm saying the paid plan is like that.
Yeah.
The enterprise plan has groups and permissions where you say, this is my collection and I'm sharing it within the company, but I don't want them to modify it. But in the first tier paid plan, everything is shared. Like nothing is yours. It is, yes, it is communism Postman.
I do understand that. Like you get your collection set up and then somebody inadvertently saves something that they shouldn't have, changes how you had something set up.
Which if you're good at Postman, breaks everything. Because I use Postman for tests. I use Postman for automated testing. Like I have authentication keywords passed across different requests within the collection. Yeah, like if someone goes into my Postman collection and changes one letter, everything I have breaks. And they have a conference about like how to best use Postman, but part of the conference is like also this has to be enterprise or else someone will break all your shit.
And I don't think there's change tracking involved, so you don't know what changed.
Yep.
It's just like, all of a sudden this is not the way I left it. What happened?
I mean, there's enough change tracking that if you actually have a big problem, they'll say, hey, upgrade to the enterprise version, and we still have your old data. You just can't get it until you go to enterprise. Postman is very money grubbing, and I hate their business model.
Use PHP Storm.
Because it's not like they do anything.
There's an open source version out there as well. I forget what it's called. What is that called?
PHP fucker.
Paul is the Apple version. Yeah, I'll see if I can remember what the other app is called and see if I can find it, Tom. I have to be honest, it's been a while since I've used it, but I'll turn you on to it. Maybe you'll like that. I forget what it's called.
Use PHP Storm. I'll
Tom
say it again.
Doesn't use PHP Storm.
Well, what's his problem?
I've never seen PHP Storm's request system.
Yeah, it's there. It's actually pretty slick. I've seen a presentation of it at a conference. John, who was it that did that?
The PHP Storm
yeah.
HTTP client? That would be Tim Lytle.
There you go. Insomnia, Tom. Insomnia. I'll put it in the show.
No, I got that too.
Okay. What the
That's
hell
because
are
you
you
got
so
laid
pissed
off
off about?
At least I got that.
Oh my God. What's going on? I'll throw it in the show notes. I think this is an open source alternative. And like I said, it's been a long time. I used it back in the day when I was like, oh, everything I use is going to be open source. And Then I stopped that for some reason. I don't know, but yeah, it's out there.
All right, we're gonna go back to that. Everything's open source. We're gonna stop spending money.
Actually, this is Get Started for free. So apparently, this is not even free anymore. This is Get Started for free, unlimited. Nope, API client, API. Yeah, there are things you do not get with a free tier anymore.
But speaking of open source, one of the things I've been trying to do since my lack of employment is trying to find an open source thing to contribute to, like get my GitHub numbers up.
Mm-hmm.
That's tough.
Oh, okay. I thought that was going somewhere.
No, it
actually
seems like everyone's already done everything.
Yeah. I actually talked to Joe Ferguson about that this week too. He suggested the Snipe IT app, asset management app. Snipe IT, yeah, that's it. From you're a big fan of Snipe. This is her business that she started off of the open source package that she created, and seems to be a very good model for her. But yeah, Joe says this is a great little project to jump into and contribute to if you're interested.
Nah.
I just beat both of them in one go. Heck.
Stop playing with the Discord chat.
He's playing with the live audience is what he's doing.
I just want to let you know, paper beats rocks when you both throw rocks. All right, we're done. Sounds like we're wrapping up.
I mean, God, I hope so.
I do want to say one thing. If
look who's the new Tom now.
Are aware, John and I have been running PHP Architect for coming up on a year. We're getting close to a year, a couple months out from a year.
Holy crap, you're right.
But next month we have some pretty cool articles coming out, including one on a topic that I talked about in the past, which is Git work trees and Git rebates.
I thought you were going to say Vim. It would be weird to have a Vim article in a PHP magazine.
Yeah, we will not be publishing that.
Yeah, no, that's a feature article next week, Tom, so shut the hell up. It's actually going to be a series.
It's actually a really good article.
It is a really good article.
I don't know.
But I
opened the magazine, got to the Vim article, and couldn't figure out how to close the magazine.
You're so funny.
Still meet you.
So I almost reached out to that contributor and said, "Hey, do you want to add a Git bisect in there by chance? Because that's kind of a cool command too. I still might do it for next month, but I don't think there's enough for an entire column. But yeah, Git work trees and Git rebase is going to be a really good article next month. So I strongly, if you're not subscribed to PHP Architect, now would be a good time to do that because some good stuff coming out.
All right, and I got to cut off the studio audience because it really look like it's turning into an orgy. So,
oh my God, what is wrong with you? These are my kids you're talking about, you monster. All right, that's fine.
That was
only one of them.
Nope. Two,
couple of them.
What? I didn't.
Go ahead and kill it.
2 of the 4.
You want to kill it over here? Here, I'll kill it there.
Wait, that's... I apologize. I did not recognize your wife.
My wife?
His wife's not there. What are you talking about?
My wife is not in here. What is wrong with you? You're right. You didn't.
Thank you for listening.
She's not here. You are in so much trouble the next time we meet.
Well, it's just took a really wrong turn.
Oh man, it's so weird. Tell me Tom's been drinking. All right. That's going to do it for episode 295 of the critically acclaimed PHPUgly podcast. I'm Eric.
I'm John.
I'm Tom.
He's drunk.
Keep it
Keep it ugly.
1, 2, 1, 2. Coming off the top, y'all know how we do.
Oh, thank you.
Cherish. I'ma send a shout out to the host named Eric. Yo, he's never on some average shit. You know, Eric, he stays loud and passionate. I'm about to break it down for y'all with the clever song. Yo, shout the host name Thomas, cause he's never wrong. Yo, shout to John. You know that he's smart and quiet, unlike my freestyles.
I can't believe you guys stuck around this entire show. What's wrong with you? Get a life, for Pete's sakes. Oh, I wanted to mention, hey, why everybody's still around? I'm wearing my dad's old NSA hat.
Yo, the segment of the show is called Doom and Gloom. That came from Thomas. Yeah, can nobody go beyond this? I get the mic and then I'm about to keep it like a promise. Yeah, and y'all know we fill them up with anguish. We talking about the PHP, the programming language. About to break it down, no exaggeration. What do y'all do for a living? Web applications. Okay, I can dig it. My words spray tight. They getting together on the Thursday nights. Yeah, when it comes to rhyming, you can call me the new dude. I spew true lyrics while y'all broadcast on YouTube. So let's get it. You know my lyrics are major. All up in the comments, they got plenty of haters, but they doing what they doing. Keep it ugly. We ending every show.
There's no more show.
It's lovely.
Come here. Give me a.
Hey, shout out to y'all. Peace to the whole squad, man. Hope your channel is doing real well.
Welcome home.
Hope you guys are having fun. And it was an honor and blessing to do this little custom freestyle.
No, they can't hear you anymore because they have all their stuff off.
Yeah. Come on. Hey.
Kalen bailed. I'm actually surprised she hung out as long as she did. So.
Tell Al we said welcome home for
Al. John says, just stay out of San Diego. Can you put that? I'll put that.
Get the fuck out of my town.
It's hot down here.
He says, welcome home.
I did.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
Welcome.
Oh my god.
My microphone has been sitting on my desk. I've been trying very hard not to hit the desk or type too much during the show. I came home from my little vacation, and my monitor arm was just looked like it needed Viagra.
Hi, if you're still here and you're listening to the podcast, I'm just saying, if you think that we should host the show one week, just text me.
God.
It's not technically beating your children if they're over 18.
That's right. Hey, that's their whole goal in life. They want all of our kids to host a show. That would be that can be a special Patreon level.
Host the show.
No. We'll stream that show if somebody actually signs up for it.
Oh man.
All right. Hey, do you really have that box laying around, Tom? Because I'd love to get that as the thumbnail. You are a horrible person.
I had multiple plans. One of them was to have a bottle of like a 40 of Easy, like just a generic malt liquor for the show, but I can't do that.
That would have been awesome. Get a 40?
I want to leave the box around. I'm planning on having the kids drive my wife to the Dollar General just to drive them crazy. Okay. Like, no, this is where we get our snacks now.
This is where we grocery shop now.
Yeah, Old E. That's the one to get a bottle of Old E.
I think our studio audience is going to become our thumbnail now because you don't have that. So
you can't Photoshop that in like 10 seconds. I have a box.
No, I could, but I don't know. I get yelled at when I make fun of you too much in our thumbnails. I got people on Twitter who complain.
I think I actually know who that is.
We'll make fun of our studio audience here and make them our thumbnail. Because they were so kind to join us.
Tom, when you brought up Paraguay, I thought you were talking about me changing out my lines the other day.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah.
Did a little sewing on the side.
No, just replaced the line, which was way too expensive to replace. It was a 64-inch segment of line, and it was $25 plus $8 shipping for that. It's like, what?
Oh, did you think you were in Did you think you were in an industry that didn't milk people?
Yeah. I could have
Did
kept.
You get the Red Bull branded lines?
No, but I could have kept flying with the line the way it was. Look, it's only got a bunch of stuff stuck to it because it didn't have the sheathing on it anymore.
I want you to see this. This is what I've been drinking tonight.
Oh, I like Voodoo Ranger. Hey, I've been drinking Voodoo Ranger myself.
What is a Voodoo Ranger?
It's a it's a not great brand. But I want you to see what I'm covering.
Not great.
Covering up with my thumb or my finger.
9.5. Nice.
Jesus Christ.
It's a big boy 9.5.
Oh. They're the Belgium brewing company, the Fat Tire Company.
Their IPAs aren't bad. I like their little sampler pack that I get.
They're way too high on nitrates. Like across the board. But I didn't buy it today because of that.
You wanted that 9.5%.
I'll tell you, I have never been so complimented by my wife about how smart and handsome I am since I lost my job.
She feels sorry for you, man.
No, I know. I got like 3, maybe 4 days I can pull out of this.
Exactly. Like, keep milking it, man. Don't...
She's like, I just don't want you to be sad. And I'm like, I just am. She's like, but you're so smart and handsome. I'm like, I know, but no one else acknowledges it. And I can pull that for a while.
Yeah, you got a good, probably longer than your severance, so you're good.
Dude, that's a bitch move.
So how surprised were you by it, honestly? Did you know it was coming, or
not super surprised? I was really surprised by the severance. Like,
okay.
I had always thought that when it comes down to brass tacks, I'm not on the top of the list. And they would plan to cover me for 3 months.
Mm-hmm.
And to get a 12-day severance was a real kick in the dick.
I'm sorry, man.
I
do honestly feel your pain on your buddy. I can imagine your guilt you have on that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
it happened to me once.
Did it really?
What?
Did it really?
Yeah. I had my best friend hired at a company I worked for, and it wasn't that long after. I mean, they kept him on like this side project for a while, but dude, I'm talking about you.
Oh.
Dude, it's a bit of a dick kick. I'm not asking for handouts from anybody yet.
I love how you preferenced that. That was awesome. Okay.
What I did was I looked at Upwork. Have you guys done the Upwork website?
No, a long time.
I'm unsure what that is.
Ooh. Dude,
It's
is
like
gnarly.
freelancing, right?
No, it is.
It's like you bid on doing work for people.
Dude, it is punishment. I scrolled through a lot of posts and it was all, hey, my WordPress is fucked up and I've got $8 to fix it.
Oh God.
And I'm like, all right, guess who gives a shit? Nobody. But there's somebody who does. There's somebody who's like,
there's always that person. Like,
Yeah,
oh
there's
yeah, I
somebody
just
who's
got to
like-
get my name out there.
no, there's somebody who's like, I can spin up an instance and fix a WordPress issue, whatever. But like, it is not for PHP developers. It is for WordPress people to fix a 20-second problem. I could not actually imagine like making money off of that.
Yeah.
I mean, like I still can't spin up an instance of anything in less than 2 hours.
That's not true. Come on.
No, for real. Like GitHub credentials, pull it to a local environment, update your host file, artisan serve it. Like maybe an hour, but
Come on, you could do it. You could spin up a freaking Laravel app and
no,
2
a
minutes.
new Laravel app, sure. But if I want to pull somebody's Laravel app from GitHub and then submit a PR that they're going to review, like,
Gotcha.
that's a whole fucking thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, spinning up a new Laravel app is way easier than fixing a 10-minute WordPress problem.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm not too worried. You know, tomorrow I'm doing today I did my PHP heavy, trying to get people to understand that PHP is not Vue.js, which for some reason is really hard to understand for HR. Where I'm like, yeah, I'm a remote PHP developer with 20 years of experience. And they're like, great, we have a full stack thing for you. And I'm like, shut the fuck up. 20 years of PHP is not a full stack developer. It is 20 years of like, I'm going to need you to do COBOL and Go. No, fuck off. It's not what I do. I do COBOL, sure. And the number of people who want to pay like $80,000 for a full stack developer. They're like, yeah, you know, Tailwinds, Vue.js, React, and PHP. So that's like $80,000. And I'm like, man, A, you're fired. B, no. Oh, that's good. I like that.
All right, Tom, I'm going to try to make it so that you don't get clipped this week. Either that or we're all going to get clipped. I'm not going to do only thing I'm going to do in Audacity is I got to put the commercial in and I got to put the intro in. And then all the other silence removing, all that other crap, I'm going to put through another service. Let's see how that works out this week. Whew. Although you keep doing that, I might just clip you just for the fun of it.
You know what I get to do though? I get to reinstall my Windows operating system and I get to rerun my Ethernet.
Yay?
Because I got nothing else to do.
But so what the never mind. Talk about that at another day. Thank you everybody for watching the show.
Thank you everybody. We're going to sign off now.
Yep.
Everybody
Bye.
have
See you
a
next
wonderful
week.
weekend and we